What's up, YouTube? Card Games United here for a set review on VGBT04?
Yeah, this is recorded on the eve that we pick up our Miyagi Academy stuff. Super hyped. Adding new Batamba Narukami to the family and upgrading our Royal Paladin and Gold Paladin decks. So, and Oracle Think Tank, actually.
I miss my Sparky boys. It's going to be so nice to have them back.
Well, I guess we're going to have to wait.
Until then, we're talking about my...
You could have played Flaming Guys for the longest.
I played them for a little while, sold them to you guys. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about my Deletor boys and my Soul boys.
I guess we should probably mention the Deletor trial deck since that's a big deal, but...
Deletor trial deck. Grade 2's pretty good. Grade 3's okay.
Grain? I think Grain's great. Anyways, yeah.
That's about all you need from the trial deck, I think. Yeah, if we're missing like anything key from the trial deck, we apologize, but I didn't feel like
pulling it. See if our boy Danny Dang will comment on this too. He's already made a name for himself in the Vanguard community.
Hey, Danny Dang, we love you.
Yeah, there's been a whole bunch of people posting on like Vanguardians about just Danny Dang just like striking again on their YouTube channels. There's like been a couple of channels like this is our first video and he just like commented that our deck.
I think he did comment. No, he didn't comment. He commented on our first video, but not the first video we put on the channel.
Yeah.
So
anyway, if you're out there, Danny Dang, we love your support.
You're the best. Anyway,
you're a god, man.
So. We apologize for any background music, by the way. The TV's on in the other room. We'll try to talk over it as much as we can. So, any preliminary thoughts?
Yes. I have a preliminary thought. You ready?
What you got, Ryan?
Gold Paladin, once the new set tomorrow comes out for us, Gold Paladin is going to kick your ass. It's going to kick your ass. It's gonna say F you to you. It's gonna say F you to you. It's gonna go up. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Okie dokie.
Okay, but this is Vilest Deletor. This has nothing to do with Gold Paladin.
I don't care.
Ezzo's not slightly worse.
Ezzo can't do anything if he's deleted.
Oh, really?
Anyways, let's So my thoughts is I personally think that Murakumo will be the best deck in the format coming out of this set, at least according to Japanese results. Things have been topping just about everywhere.
Yeah. Murakumo did get a lot of strong support, and it was sticking pretty well in Tier 1 even before this, despite the fact that it looked like it was going to drop. With,
now the deck is just absurd with how much control it has for an Exarch of Shiryuki and Zanbaku. And...
Well, it's not even just Shiryuki. It's you got Sangeki to patch for if they're trying to damage deny you. You've got Midnight Crow for more plussing. You've got Jammer for more plussing and consistency. So the deck has just got a lot of things that it appreciates.
Yeah, it's a super strong deck.
It looks like Dark Irregulars are playable again.
Pale Moon's a disappointment, though. I mean, I think the deck's still decent after Vilest Theater. I just think we could have expected more.
Shadow Paladin's also seeing some tops. So it's got a lot of good competitive stuff that definitely brings these decks.
Can't wait to talk about Link Joker, though, and how they may be overhyped.
So, without further ado, let's step into the VRs. Our first one, of course, is 001 Gust Blaster Dragon. Force, grade 3. When it attacks, counterblast 1, retire 2 of your rear guards, draw a card, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards, retires it, this unit gets 10k. And then when your rear guard is retired, not just by card effect, if you have a grade 3 with Blaster and Soul, it gets crit +1.
Good card. I know people were complaining about it a lot, saying this card was ass because it didn't have guard restrict.
Some people did complain just because Shadow Paladin's matchup with Protect clans has been so bad in the past that
every
they
deck
were really hoping for a guard restrict.
Every clan should have their bad matchup, and Shadow still have a good enough early game that they can be able to compete in those matchups.
The problem is I don't even think this doesn't do well in the Protect matchups, because you can still use it as a CB Denial card by just swinging over for over 3 damage every turn. You can still be controlling off your opponent's resources.
And you don't minus as much as PBD.
And you don't minus as much as PBD, so if the attack misses, you actually haven't invested resources in this one, because you got the drawback, you were able to attack with those cards, and you got a pop for it.
So overall, this is a solid card. I'll give it a 3.
I think this card deserves a 4. I think it's just so good in a lot of very understated ways. It can't be understated how good using it as just a CB Denial card is, because you can swing in for 3 damage at any point. Meanwhile, you have control effects, and you can use your rear guards to poke off their rear guards. So you have to have a very specific deck that can counter this.
Ryan, any thoughts on Gust Blaster?
Yeah. It's going to be good if Shadows doesn't die on turn 3.
Truth.
What's your score?
3.
3? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Solid rating, actually.
It doesn't have, what's it called?
Guard Restrict.
Guard Restrict. Thank you, Andre. It gains an extra crit.
Multiple.
Huh?
Multiple.
Multiple crits, yeah.
Oh, it gains multiple crits, and it forces your opponent to retire. So, if anything, this deck, or this card specifically, is just mainly meant to harass the opponent.
Yep, fair.
It's not a finisher.
Anyways,
sorry.
what's our next VR?
It's kind of a finisher. It really depends how you define finisher. Anyway, our next VR, 002, Dueling Dragon King Zungeki.
Zungeki. A lot of people have opposite opinions. One of the guys who are locals was like, Zungeki is the best.
So actually, Tom did come back to me the next day. He was like, "I'm sorry, man. I tested it out. I believe it now."
So Tom, if you're watching this or listening to this, Tom, love your playtesting. So me having played Murkrow.
First off, we should go over the skill. Continuous Vanguard. If you have left arrestor in your front row, it gets 5k. If you have right arrestor in your front row, it gets crit. Continuous, if you have a Dueling Dragon in your soul, your opponent cannot call cards other than grade 0 from his or her hand to Guardian Circle. So,
good card. It's free.
It's free.
Obviously, it's preferred.
It's a restriction on the entire turn.
It's also mentioning that the power gain isn't restricted to just your turn, so it is a 17k base if you fulfill the condition on your opponent's turn.
That is true.
Which means...
Of course, clans like Narukami are still going to be big when this comes out.
Yeah.
DIs are getting much more retire power. Kagero's about to come back with the next extra booster.
But still, it's something that's a nice plus.
Also, if at some point you are on this and your opponent is not dead, then something has gone wrong for you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this card just causes uncomfortable situations with the fact that it only requires just the Dueling Dragon and Soul for the Guard Restrict, so, like...
Well, see, this is the thing you're meant to go into in late game, so that they can't damage deny you. Because this thing just sits at 0 damage, like, fine, I just shut off 2/3 of the cards in your deck.
I'm
gonna give this Excel circle. So
I'm gonna give this card a 3.5.
I'm gonna give it a 2.5 just because it's so terrible as a first ride.
I think
it's really good at doing what it does, but what it does is so niche that I can't justify giving it specifically.
It's a 3.5.
I give Murakumo in this set like a 4 or a 5 out of 5. But this specific card, just as a standalone,
I give it a 3.5 just because it fills that spot that Murakumo needed previously before, whereas if you did get damage denied, then it was a question of just like, well, what do you do now? And now that we have something to answer damage denial, I think this card definitely boosts the deck a lot more, which is the reason why my score is a bit higher personally for this card, even though I do agree with you, it's a terrible first ride. Yeah. Unless if you have the arresters in the front row, but eh.
Even if you have the arresters in the front row, at that point, it's just...
You know what? You know what I think about this card?
What?
It might be powerful when it first comes out, but I think people...
I swear to God, if this is something about Raven-haired Ezel being able to destroy it...
It wasn't going to be, but sure, now that you mention it, I think Raven-haired is going to absolutely be able to destroy it.
So we're skipping Ryan's rating for this one.
No, hold on.
Okay, what is your actual thought on this card?
So my actual thought is it might be strong when it first comes out, but then after a while, people are going to learn how to deal with it. AKA, I rush you. That's my answer for dealing with that card.
Now, the problem is, when it comes to answering things with a rush, it's one of those things where every problem looks like a nail when all you have is hammers.
Okay.
If you start trying to rush down Murakumo, then they're going to get the ride lock on you.
They can't ride lock golds. Not anymore.
Specifically golds.
Yes.
So
they can't ride lock.
Does everything have to revolve around golds?
No. So there is an argument for golds and Angel Feather to be able to rush against Murakumo. Everything else, that's going to be a bad plan with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I'm playing golds.
Well, so you can't judge this card specifically based off what you are playing, though.
Okay. Everyone, play either Gold or Angel Feather. They are found in the United Sanctuary. You just have to pray to 2 people. You have to pray to your waifu, Suiko, and then you also have to pray...
Hey, Suiko's not connected to them anymore. She got deleted.
I don't fucking
She
care.
did?
She did.
How
And
did
then
they delete people?
No,
So it's
they
all,
delete
they
the
cut
connection.
off their connection to Vanguard. It's... Never mind. Anyway.
Anyways, what's your rating, Ryan?
My rating?
Yeah, for Zangeki.
Okay, so...
It's probably going to be like a 1.5 or something.
So, unfortunately, they deleted Suiko, so I actually think it's going to be a 4 because they deleted Suiko. So, basically, there's going to be no more Angel Feather anymore.
Okay.
Okay, then.
No, dude, no.
Is that your actual rating?
No, that's not my actual rating. I'm trolling, okay? My actual rating is probably going to be something like a 2, honestly. People are going to learn how to deal with it. When they learn how to deal with it...
The problem is it's not dealing with it specifically. You have to deal with every single piece in the deck, and this is just one thing that patches one of the holes it had before.
That's why I gave it a 3.5.
Well, that's why I give it a 2.5, because it's just a patch for one hole. It's as a standalone card, no, it doesn't deserve a high rating. Merkumo, overall, definitely yes. This card, no.
Anyways, what's our next VR?
Well, that's going to be 003, Waving Deleter Greydall.
Ah, great. Well, I can't wait to delete all of you in March.
Continuous Vanguard Circle. Your opponent's rearguards cannot move to other RC.
That's obnoxious.
That's weird. Auto Vanguard Circle. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1 on place. Choose one of your opponent's rearguards and bind it face down. If you rode from a grade 3, delete your opponent's Vanguard and this unit gets critical plus 1.
So basically, I can't position swap for bad positioning.
So
Yeah.
it basically is mostly just designed to bully Excel clans, mostly that may need to move cards up and down. It's just a weird skill in general, but like I can kind
That
of
first
see
skill is weird, but it's not
free.
it's not what you're here for.
it's free too.
What you're really
sorry,
here-
Kyle. I do have to mention that deleters just haven't been performing well in Japan. There's talk about them being overhyped.
Well, hold on a second. So let's talk about what moving a card from rear guard circle actually means. It means, right, it says from rear guard circle, like the cards can't move.
It says your opponent's rearguards cannot move to other rearguard circle.
Okay, so let's talk about what that means. It shuts down Megiddo.
I mean,
In premium, yes.
Yeah, in
we
premium.
don't really do these set reviews mostly on premium.
Yeah, we try to focus mostly on standard, but yes, there are a lot more targets for it in premium.
Yeah, Megiddo would be shut down by the card. You are correct about that.
Partially shut down.
Actually, considering Link Jokers could be overpowered in premium, let's at least acknowledge that, you know, they could be viable or something. I don't know.
It's possible that this could be strong in premium because it is an on-ride effect. So you could always ride this stride into your deleter.
Yeah, or
just...
delete and then ultimate stride with this thing and stuns to Sark. I've done that with Grey Gold before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't forget there's going to be the new Given, whatever it's called.
So, I think...
Given is going to be a big deal, especially in premium. And especially with this, because this thing gets a crit.
So, I think for standard, though, focusing, the leaders haven't been performing well in Japan. I think I'm going to give this card a 2.5. It's terrible as a first ride. This is specifically designed that you ride Gray in first.
Tell you what,
CV2
I'll
delete.
swap grades with you. I'll give it a 3.5. Because I think this thing is the very strong top end that the deck wants. It's just that it doesn't quite have the underneath support that it needs yet.
I mean, feature support.
It's like Arba and Elro are just sort of jokes.
Yeah,
Wait,
I mean, people aren't going to be running those anyways, so...
Yeah.
I just got a suggestion
Whereas
here.
they are the rarity grade 2s. So Bushiroad kind of wanted you to be running those, but they're not worth running, which is...
Because you'd rather be running the trial deck guy that binds the column.
The trial deck guy is awesome. But beyond that, all you have is like power attackers and stuff. So that's what the deck is missing, I feel. It's more support in the lower
Like I said,
grades.
I'm just going to give this a 2.5, because like, I feel like the first skill is meh. Second still is great,
Well,
but
hold
only
on.
as a second ride.
In theory, you can run 8 draws in your deck, in your Link Joker deck, and then attempt to, like, when you have a whole bunch of cards in your hand, continuously give in somebody.
No, you can.
Oh,
Yeah, you can.
He retires.
He's during the battle phase, isn't he?
He is.
He's during the battle phase. He retires or discards 5 cards.
He can't restand. It's on attack, or it's at the end of the battle that he attacks. So.
Low down, deleted, given. At the end of battle, it attack.
Yeah, so there's no way. And this isn't premium where you can do like the whole double given thing. So. You are wrong there, sir.
Okay, so you make sure you have 2 gibbons on the field.
I mean,
if you want to try and do that and try and have your 10 cards between field and hand, more power to you. That's a little bit of a crazy top end for something that probably should have been trying to kill you before that point. But
this is Ryan's thing of liking powerful effects, but not really looking at the consistency of them.
Well,
it's sort of
shut
whatever.
the hell up. Like, that's what Kagero's all about. Powerful effects.
This isn't Kagero.
Anyway,
what's your rating for Grey Doll? We gotta move on.
I don't care. It's gonna burn everything in this world to ash. Just kidding.
3?
Yeah, 3.
3, okay. Now, for my boy, King of Masks, Dantarian. My soul boys are back! Continuous, when you would call Guardians, you can call any number of grade 2 or greater from Soul to Guardian. Auto, when your opponent's rear guard is retired, you may soul charge 2. Auto, when a grade 2 or greater is put into your soul by card ability, 3 of your rear guards get 5k.
This is free value. Everything
This
DI
is
is needed.
a ton of free value. It's consistent power. It's a heavy soul charging engine. It's beautiful.
This is everything that DI is needed to complement Death Anchor.
Lee.
Not to complement Death Anchor, to make a deck.
I don't know. I think I would disagree.
It shifted the focus to retiring. It gives you consistent power turn after turn, instead of just focusing on this one big top end, where if you try to do that, they're just going to save up cards and just throw them at your face.
I don't know, man. I think this works really well with Death Anchor, though, because this has a soul charging engine to get you to that 13 a lot quicker.
The problem is I'd rather just play the new grade 3, to be honest. But
the 5 elements guy? The 5 elements, dude?
No. The on attack slip grade 2 or greater into soul, retire one of your opponent's rear guards.
Fair enough.
This card gets 5k, and when it's in Guardian Circle, gains 5k shield.
Does it work as a rear guard?
Yes.
Oh, that's actually not a bad card.
Yeah.
So
that's the whole point. You can just make straight Dantarian. You don't have to mix them with
Death Anchor. I mean, I think I know that's what some people are doing around in Japan, but
I honestly think it's probably going to be better just because streamlined decks tend to work better than things that you shove top end into, in my opinion. Obviously, the Death Anchor build also works, so there's nothing against people trying to run it.
Yeah. DI's just got a lot of retiring, so there's legitimate control.
Got a lot of control out of this set. They can play slow and grindy like they liked before. You've got more power and more options.
And this guy just helps you manage resources better.
This guy helps you manage resources. He helps you fill up your soul. The Grade 2 Guardian can get really trollsy, especially against Excel plans.
I'm going to give this guy a 4.
I'm giving him a 4.5. He's got like 90% of what I wanted for the deck.
4.
Awesome.
But Lee, notice how you're acting? You're acting with the hype that I had with Raven-haired.
Fair enough.
I guess we could do the whole shove thing like he did in the last video.
Yeah. So guys, we don't talk about Dantarian here.
Anyways, last VR, and I'm sure I have a lot to say about this guy.
Oh, is that why you turned the mic towards yourself? You're gonna have a full rant?
Yep.
Alright. Incoming Andre rant. Gun Salute Dragon, end of stage.
I'm sorry, this guy's getting a 1 from me.
So, I'm just gonna turn this back towards myself for a second so I can go ahead and tell the nice people his attacks. Auto, once per turn. Yada yada yada, stand this unit. Auto, yada yada yada, your opponents cannot guard with sentinels.
So let me just say my thoughts about this guy.
Can I speak as the Pale Moon player here?
Alright,
No,
go for your rant.
No, you're not allowed.
Okay, look.
I want to see him rant.
Okay, maybe this might not be a 1.
Oh, by the way, before he goes into it, I should mention the yada 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 involves not having a field and not having a soul.
So, this is why this card is bad. This card takes away from what the deck wants to be doing. And people are like, oh, well, this is supposed to be your finisher, but the issue is this card is only hitting for 17k base alone, which Force Clans can just drop a 15k for a 2 pass. So, this card dumps everything in your soul, literally is no engine for Pale Moon whatsoever. Like, I guess some combos you could get is like Alice looping for a little bit. Then
it's the Highlander build with the Chimeras and a heavy artillery man.
Like, the issue is, I just think that Golden Beast Tamer just does everything that Pale Moon wants, and it's just a better card all around. Like, she gives power to the front row, which helps fix numbers against Force even. She's a multi-attacking engine that can literally toolbox anything you need for your combos. Like, and this card is just sitting here as like this sort of mediocre high-risk play that doesn't really do what the deck wants to be doing. So, this card's a 1.5. I'm sorry. I'm glad it's this bad, because then it means I save money in the set, because I only have to buy 2 of it, but, you know.
Okay, frankly, I myself am going to give it a 2, or maybe a 2.5, just because it does have that separate build. It does have the Highlander build.
I just don't think it's better.
And you can tech it as a finisher. I don't think it's better, but I think adding another deck is at least something that deserves
at best, I think this replaces the Chimera you play at 2. But even then, I would still kind of rather keep the Chimera and just play the triple R's just to make more consistency in what I can get into Soul.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
You're going to give this card like a 5, aren't you?
No. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
3.5? Okay.
Okay, you ready?
It's pretty high, honestly.
I'm a little optimistic about the card. I was originally going to give it a 4, but I think it'll settle for a 3.5. So here's what's up. What you guys aren't, accounting for is in the next set, there's going to be cards that, when called from the soul, you call out a grade 2 or a grade 1 or
the Chimeras.
The Chimeras, yes.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Nobody even plays those anyways.
Well, it's the Highlander build. It's a build specifically dedicated to this card, which is what I was talking about before. It does at least create.
Wait, hold on. Are we talking Highlander, like only 1 copy of everything?
Well, no, it's Highlander. There can only be 1.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that in every situation that you would use
I get what
this
you were
card,
saying there, but the idea is that it's the only card on your Vanguard circle, so there can only be 1. There you go.
So here's what I'm saying. You ready? If you have a purple trapezist on rear guard, which if you're playing them at 4, that could be good, okay? If you have one on rear guard, put it into the soul. You can soul blast it to get the grade 3, the grade 2, and the grade 1 out.
The issue is that with Golden Beast Tamer, you already have things like Jumping Jill, Amarath Beast Tamer, and the Chimera to help get those purple trapezes off during the battle phase.
That's
anyways.
not another Vanguard attack, and so that means you are just hard stopped by defensive triggers. Whereas this gets to dig 2 more times for that front trigger.
Disagree, because you're forgetting about Golden Beast Tamer's 3k.
I'm not forgetting. It's 3k. It's not going to jump you past the 10k. Whereas this, it can hit a front trigger on those 2 checks.
It might not work against Force, but it does. Golden Beast Tamer does do a damn good job of making 22k pretty easily.
But again, you're talking about pushing your opponent for 5k guard. Versus if you get the front trigger, that's the full guard amount.
I think, but like the issue is that if your opponent's at 4 or 5 anyways, Golden Beast Tamer just does the job at finishing better.
Like
anyways.
I'm not gonna argue this thing does a better job than Golden Beast Tamer. I'm just saying it has its own niche.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I might run it.
If you want to run the full gun salute deck, I would be very interested to see the 2 of you play out that match.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
So
I think you could probably pick up the rest of the Golden Pale Moon stuff for cheap. So like, I would definitely enjoy seeing you play that. I just personally don't think it's a good card.
Does it gain any extra crits?
No. If this thing did get a crit, I would have a much better opinion of it, but...
Well, frankly, all I think it needed was the old effect of getting 5k for each card it's soul blasted instead of just 5k. But
like I said, I'm going to stick firmly at 1.5. I mean...
I'm sticking with my 2.
You sticking with your 3.5?
Yeah.
Alright, so that about wraps up the VRs. Going into the triple Rs, Darkbond Trumpeter. Excellent card.
He's going to run this in a Shadows deck.
Gonna run it at 4. Speaking of things I'm gonna run at 4, Blackwing Swordbreaker.
Call it off the grade 2, call it off in the main, free plussing. Just the only negative is you have too many grade 1 5Ks.
Not even that much of a negative, though, because you've got your Nemains to dig them all out, and you've got your Dark Bonds to dig them all out. It just means your entire grade 1 lineup is searchable, and you can dump it on field at any point. Then we have Fantasy Petal Storm Shirayuki. Definitely an interesting card.
The decks that actually have been topping in Japan have been teching this card in with Sengeki.
It's an interesting tech choice because it just adds that, like, what is it, 10k 10k minus to the front row, or is it 5k?
It's 10k if it's attacking. It's 5k if you guard with it, or is being attacked on the Vanguard circle.
Yeah, so it just adds an interesting...
Actually, no. It's the 10k if it's your Vanguard, even when you're being attacked. So you could use this both offensively and defensively, I believe.
It just adds an interesting element to the deck overall.
The only thing is that the 2 Soul Blasts is kind of a heavy cost for the deck, considering some Baku still exists, but like it's still, like I said, an interesting control choice.
Yeah, but that's not huge. So
I think the issue is just whether you value this more than Musashi, which.
Then we have Sword Shield Dragon. I definitely wanted this card to get a little more support. I think it's 1 or 2 decent support cards away from being like a solid.
So knowing that we now have Link Joker support on the horizon after Vilest Deletor, this is probably something that will be meshing well with the support that's coming out and whatever that set's
I highly doubt Brant is going to support Cyber Dragons, though.
I think Bushiroad more or less attempted this to be its own R budget build for Link Joker, which...
Yeah, but it was like 1 or 2 support cards away from being a decent deck.
Guess if you wanted to take the 10 grade 3 routes, you could run this as like a 2-up finisher in Link Joker.
Problem is there's not like a real good way to bind their triggers unless they call them to field.
Yeah, which only Excel decks are really going to do that in desperate situations.
Excel decks and sometimes Shadows, depending on their hand.
So wait, does Link Joker have that win condition where if they have like 13 face down cards in the bind zone or whatever?
Nope.
In premium.
No.
Any other triple Rs?
Well, of course there are more triple Rs.
Oh,
Lie Down Deletor Given, for example.
Oh, my boy's back.
Yep. And he's restanding harder than ever.
Yeah, this is obviously an instant 4 of
So,
years.
Andre, because Lie Down Deletor is your avatar now,
By the way, speaking of instant 4-ofs and deleters, Opener of Dark Gates.
what does she do?
She does some crazy shit. Opener of Dark Gates. When placed, if your opponent has 2 or less rear guards, Soul Blast 1. Look at 2 cards from the top of your deck. Call up to 1 card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard. Your opponent's Vanguard, sorry. And put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order.
Hey, free plus
Soul Blast 1 for a somewhat consistent +1.
Can't really complain, actually.
Yeah, that is just weirdly good.
Is that a triple R?
It is a triple rare.
Excuse me again.
Huh.
Oh,
They're
that
getting 3 triple Rs?
Yes. And
Well, that would explain more of Schwarzchild's triple R rarity then.
I can name a good 5 or 6 clans that would murder for a card like this.
Aquaforce.
Aquaforce, Kagero, Gold Paladins.
Anyways, Pale Moon has a couple triple Rs.
First, Dark Regular's got a triple rare. It's Dimension Creeper.
Garbage.
Are you sure? Do you want to hear what it does?
Soul
Yeah.
Blast and Soul Charge 2.
I think it does
No.
something good.
Continuous Rearguard. If you have a grade 3 card in Soul, this unit gets power plus 5k.
Ah, neat.
Act. Soul, Counterblast 1, put this card on bottom of your deck and you may Soul Charge 3.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah. It's kinda awesome.
Trash. I don't like Dimension Creeper.
You know, I remember its old ability. Soul, like Act Soul. If this card's in your Soul, Soul Blast 2.
Oh, you mean that card that contributed to the Degenerate build with Soulless Demagogue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Actually, I kind of liked Blade Wing Reiji.
Anyways, Pale Moon.
Yeah, it was Blade Wings with the Blade Wing grade 2, that, and just plenty of Assassins so that you could get extra attacks with the, like, plus 16k you were getting.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Anyways.
it was a completely degenerate deck, and people overhyped it, trying to be like it was tier 1 for a while, but it was kind of like a tier 2 gimmick.
What about the Demon Chariots?
Anyway, they were bad.
Hey, Ryan.
Pale Moon got a triple rare. It was Misdirection.
I like this card.
Yeah, when placed from hand, counterblast 1, and put a grade 1 or less rear guard into your soul. Draw 2 cards and put a card from hand into soul.
Okay,
Again,
so
just selective soul charging.
hold on.
Selective soul charging, massive boost to consistency. Gets you a little bit of defense.
Run this card at 4.
So Lee, I
Get rid
just
of
have
Nitro
to.
Juggler.
I just have to say this one thing. Being that you ran Dark Irregulars,
Yeah.
and being that you ran No Life King,
Yeah.
you get the honored privilege of selecting how you die. So how do you want to die?
How fascinating.
Because I will throw you off a bridge if Dark Irregulars gets too powerful.
Oh. Can I get, like, eaten by a Chimera Ant or something?
Sure.
That
I've
way
added
at
you to
least-
the tabletop chat.
Because that way at least I come back with super strength.
I'm sexy.
Double R's, Dark Metal Dragon, Garbage, Apocalypse. Dark Metal Dragon is garbage, but it was so close to being, like, really good. It's just got so many weird restrictions that it's just like, eh.
Lee at Vanguard, garbage.
Apocalypse Bat, it's okay. Don't know if you have space for it. Stealth Fiend, Mortessent Violence,
Good.
good. Don't know if you have space for it.
Probably from a Lord.
Stealth Fiend, Midnight Crow, awesome. Automatic staple. Demonic Hair, Stealth Rogue, Grenjin, meh. Meh. Alba and Elro,
No.
meh.
Maybe.
Meh minus. Perfect Guard, Master of the Fifth Element. Why are you so trash?
Why? What is it?
Master of the Fifth Element.
Yeah, but what does it do?
I think it's more for NLK, but actually.
It's specifically for NLK, but if it ever misses, you have just taken your own penis, ripped it off, and shoved it deep up your rectum.
You
Cool.
lose if this card,
Kind of like in the new kid, right?
Yeah, so what this does is when it attacks, if you have 15 or more cards in soul, put all cards from your hand and soul into the drop zone, stand all your units.
That actually sounds kind of good.
It's garbage.
But Ryan, you like powerful effects, though. So
Because
explain this
you
one.
have to get to 15 soul. And if you miss, you are dead.
But don't you consistently get to 15 soul?
The problem is you can often get to 15 soul. Like, I will say that after this set, it's probably going to be a little more consistent to get to 15 soul. But, A, if you're not doing this off of No Life King, then it's just garbage in the first place. Number 2, it's a protect clan, so you can't force out that much aggression no matter what you do. Number 3, you absolutely need that field set up with Doreen behind it. Number 4, if your opponent plans around it, and you go into this, you have just spent all of your resources. What do you do next?
Sit there and die.
Sit there and die.
No, I'm gonna roll a d20 for persuasion to get the opponent to surrender.
That's going to be a difficulty check of 75.
I know. I'll critical success it.
There's no such thing as critical success on ability rolls. They just do that for flavor.
I'll roll a nat 20.
So, actually, in the rules of D&D, critical success does not exist for ability checks. It is specifically for attack rolls. It's just I, as a DM, like to add in some little flavor if you had a 20 or a 1.
Hey,
Yeah, it's on.
Yes, a bit.
Oh, wait, how many subscribers do we have?
35.
It hasn't changed since you asked me an hour ago. Magician of Quantum Mechanics. How do you feel about this card, Andre?
What's this card do?
Let's see. 5k, auto, when placed from soul, retire 2, rest, rear guard, soul charge 2, and draw a card.
No.
No,
This is the grade 2, right?
this is the great one.
Is it Link Choker?
It's Pale Moon.
Bad.
But I think the grade 1 lineup is already solid as it is. I wouldn't even change it for this.
Alright then.
It's not worth the 5k base. It's not worth the -2 to the field. I just think that starting Presenter, Midnight Bunny, and Trapezist are your grade 1 lineup. You don't change that after this set.
In fairness, it can help you recoup a little defense if you went for GBT turn 4 and it didn't kill. So, I'd say that it does have a spot, but I don't know what you would cut for it, so that's about how I feel with it.
If you ask me about Dancing Princess.
Alright, interesting, Single Art and Below's Shadow Blaze Dragon.
I thought Dancing Princess was a double R.
Dancing Princess. Oh, it is. It's a double R. I apologize. Must have skipped right over it. One place from hand, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, call a card from soul to rear guard. When played from soul, it gets power +3.
I think this is a fine card. I mean, it becomes a 12k beat stick, so you could.
Becomes a 12k beat stick, so it's always useful.
Yes.
Also gives you a decent turn 2.
Yeah, the skill's on ride, so it gives Pale Moon some early game. The only thing is, it's kind of questionable as to what you cut because the Amarath Beast Tamer is crucial for Trapezist plays.
I think you could honestly work around not having the Amaranth.
I think that Jumping Jill, with the consistency that you can get into the soul now, with the support we have, you could probably cut the Amarath for this card. Because this card's just like a super good grade 2 ride.
Yep.
Like I said, all of the support for Pale Moon is fine until we got our shitty VR.
I don't know if I'd say all the support is fine, because in the low rarities, you kind of didn't get anything worth talking about. Like, you got a good triple rare, and one of your double rares is alright. The other one's kind of meh.
Pale Moon Shafted?
Pale Moon Shafted a little bit, yes. Other interesting R's and below.
Anyways, in fairness, the Soul Blast cost again is a little bit expensive now for Murakumo, but good resource management just from a good player like myself, so.
So then after that, you got, there's some good Dark Irregular cards. Authority of Water. I think it's Direful Noise is the one that retires as grade 1. You got the Cuticle Assassins if you want to play that build. You got the different Chimeras for Pale Moon if you want to play that build.
Gunsalute got his own deck.
Yep. So, that's the set.
Overall, I'm going to give this set, I think, a 90 out of 100. Patches a lot of things for good clans. Murakumo becomes consistently good.
Gotta give it an 85, just because I feel like Pale Moon got shafted hard enough that... Because, like, it has a lot of good top-tier decks. It has a decent amount of variety within those decks, and a decent amount of different options you can play around with. It has a good option. Well, it has a good deal of options you can play around with, but
Pale Moon getting shafted
is budget.
Pale Moon getting shafted makes me happy because it's less money I have to spend.
Well, just the fact that one of your 5 clans comes out of this is just like meh, and then Link Joker also comes out and it's like meh.
I mean, I just can't wait to delete all of you. So you're gonna be deleted, and you're gonna be deleted. And I'm going to delete you again.
And I'm going to bite your finger off.
What's your rating for the set overall?
I'm just going to give it like a 40.
Why do you keep trying to predict his ratings?
Because it's Ryan. He gives random things on a whim.
No, I don't.
In fairness, you gave Himiko a 1, and then in the video the next day you were like, hey, have you seen this Himiko card? It's really good! And that's literally a thing that happened.
Wait, you gave Himiko a 1?
He gave Himiko a 1, and then in the next match video, while we're playing, he's like, oh my god, look at this Himiko card, it's really good.
Wait, who gave Himiko a 1?
You.
I thought it was Andre.
It was you.
I do not give random stuff on a whim.
Yeah, you do. You gave freaking Gunsalute a 4 just so you can be contrarian.
You know what? Whatever. I'm not going to give a rating for this set. How about that?
Ryan refuses to rate.
What's the lucky number of the day?
Oh, you want a lucky number of the day? Tell you what, your lucky number of the day is a 2, just like Gunsalute.
This video is sponsored by the Geico Caveman, because Lee looks like the Geico Caveman.
I will save all you motherfuckers 15% on car insurance. At me! At me! Bye-bye.